Good morning and welcome to another week and welcome to another weekly update. Some interesting things to talk about this week, and the first of those is something that I only wrote up last night as I became aware of it, and it's quite a big deal if you use this, and I know lots of people are using this, so let's get straight into it. This is the Office 365 Service Health endpoints that you can use today to get information about Office 365 Service Health, any incidents, any messages, and I see lots and lots of people doing this in PowerShell, in PowerAutomate Flow, as well as in code to come up with solutions that bring information sort of to the attention of admins and to IT pros. There's been a few different ways of doing this, and the one that I see really kind of commonly used at the moment is using a Office 365 management API. Now, the news that's kind of happened in the last couple of days is that there's a graph version of this same call that's called something slightly different. It's called the Microsoft Graph, the Service Health and Communications API, really similar names. And this is why this is a little bit confusing. So really similar names, but this one is in Microsoft Graph. It's not in the kind of older Office 365 management APIs. The graph-based version has just gone from beta to GA, which by itself is fine. It's good. What that's triggered though is an announcement that the older Office-based Office management API version, the original one, is going to get retired, and it's going to get retired in December, so it's not actually that far away. So December 21. So a couple of things to digest there. First of all, lots of people are using this, and they're using it in, like I say, I see them using it in PowerShell, I see them using it in PowerAutomate Flow. So a lot of these might be people that are not super familiar with the APIs, and they're just kind of following the steps. So and if they don't do anything, all of those they're just going to break once the service goes away. The solution is to move over to the graph-based one, but it's going to be more difficult for people than just swapping out the URLs, because the scope is different for permissions. So there's going to be a whole bunch of things that need to happen. So if you're not really familiar with the PowerShell or the PowerAutomate Flow that you are currently using, you need to go back to the person who gave it to you or the website it came from, and just hope that they are going to update that information, or that other people are going to come out with updates for something similar. If I get the time, I might try and do that as well, but I know there's lots and lots of people who have who are able to do that, and so I'm hoping that some of the people that put out those original blog posts about how to do it will go back and update with that information to kind of help everyone out. I think that'd be really good to see. How do you know if this affects you? Well, go and look at the code that you're using, and if it has in it, let me share this blog post that I did. So if it has in it this URL that looks like this, so manage.office.com/API/v1 and then /servicecoms, if it looks like that, then this is the API we're talking about. And that's the one that's going to get retired, and it's going to get retired on it's the 17th of September. So if we go down, here's the message: 17th of September, in favor of the new graph-based one. So if you're looking at this and actually yours doesn't look like this at all, it looks like graph.microsoft.com, you're safe. You don't need to worry. And that's the one you need to move everything to kind of make sure you're protected by this, or protected from this, I should say, when it comes around in December. It's worth noting, I suppose, that old the Office 365 Management API was always a preview API, so it never actually made it into GA. I guess that is why there is such a short retirement window for this. That sort of makes sense, I suppose. But yeah, so interesting news, but of concern and interest to lots of people, I'm sure. So make sure you check your PowerShell, make sure you check any code that you've got, any flows that you're using, anything that calls those APIs, to kind of make sure this isn't going to impact you. All right, that was the first thing I wanted to get out. It's kind of new information for me. Like I say, I only found out about it last night, wrote up the blog post, published it this morning. You can go and read that full blog post with a lot more detail in it in the description. And yes, I hope that's useful. I hope it gives you some prior warning that this stuff is coming. Other things that are happening this week. There's another breaking change actually but this is to Microsoft Graph, a different set of APIs completely. This is to do with the connectors API. So the connectors API is an interesting one because this is the API by which developers can push information into Microsoft Graph so that it shows up in Microsoft Search. So the idea for this is that you've got information in lots of different places, not just in Graph. You might have it in third-party systems and legacy systems as well. But if you're using Microsoft Search, then you really want that information to, the Microsoft 365 search experience. You want it to light up all of the information, all of the content you've got, not just what's in Microsoft 365. The Connectors API is a way to allow you to ingest data into Microsoft 365 and keep it up to date so that it shows up in search. And there's some changes. That's it. That whole API is still in beta, and there's some changes that they're making based on feedback and based on usage and looking at the telemetry and how people are using it. And they're going to make some changes, but they are breaking changes. So there are going to be things that you need to do. So there's new OData type annotations. There are some things taking away. There's a simplification of some of the ACL resource types. So yeah, these look like fairly serious changes. Let me share my screen. These look like fairly serious changes if you've written code that deserializes any of this response data or kind of looks through it for particular things. You can see these are the types of things that will end up breaking code. So I think it's good that these are being simplified and that the refresh is happening. And it's really important on the Microsoft side of the fence, it's really important they get this right before it goes into GA, because as soon as it goes into GA, then it's much, much harder to make these kind of changes because they have to be notified. Like it's GA, right? So you have to, it's production ready. It's going to get used in production. You can't just make breaking changes like this. So they need to get it right. So I kind of applaud them doing this. But there will be some short-term pain if you're using these APIs. They are in beta, so that's the get out, right? Like that's the trade-off. You're getting early access in beta, but they're not production ready. You shouldn't be using them in production code because of things like this. They are going to change and they are going to break. So just be aware that if you are using these for anything, you probably need to go and update some of this code. You've got until the 30th of September to do that. So you've got 2 months or so to just under 2 months to sort that stuff out. So work to do for you as well. Lots of work to do this week if you're using those connector APIs to push information into Microsoft 365. All right, what else? I'm going to keep it quick this week, keep it short, keep it snappy, because it's a busy week for everyone, and I know lots of people are away as well. So if you're watching this on your holidays, hooray! I'm glad you managed to get away for holiday. That sounds good. I hope you're enjoying it. I don't know what you're doing listening to this on your holiday, but there we go. Lastly, let's talk about something a bit more fun, maybe, that is not a breaking change, and that is pre-conference virtual events for Commsverse. So what is this? We've got Commsverse coming up in the UK in September 15th, but ahead of that, there are some virtual pre-days happening starting September 1st, and anybody can go to those. You don't have to be attending Commsverse. They're free. You don't have to be in the UK because they're online, and they're a good chance of getting up to speed with everything that all the vendors are doing. So they're all vendor-led sessions. The kind of pitch here is like it's a good way of getting up to speed actually with everything that's happening before you get to the conference. So you're not spending the whole time at the conference just trying to play catch up. You can make the best use of your time when you're there. So I put a video together talking about them, going through them and the value of them, and I did it outside for the first time in forever because it's going to be conference season soon, and we're going to be all outside soon. And I'm going to be recording video at Commsverse outside of these four walls, which is very exciting. So I wanted to get out and do a video just to kind of celebrate that. Anyway, this blog post has all the dates and the details of all the sessions. You can see what they are here. It's got the links as well to go and register. Like I say, they're free to attend, and each one of these days contains multiple sessions. So there's loads and loads of actual content. So each of these days, there's 6 days in total, between September the 1st and September the 13th. Each day contains multiple sessions. Each session is led by a specific vendor, and each day focuses on a particular area of Microsoft Teams. So there's lots and lots to dig into there. There's bound to be something that is of interest, so highly recommend you go and check that out this week, and get those in your diary, because otherwise your diary will fill up. And that's I think that's some really good content to kind of get some learnings, as the Microsoft Speak goes today. Get some learnings ahead of Commsverse. All right, that is everything I want to talk about this week. Some big takeaways, particularly on that graph change, on that Office 365 status change, moving to graph. That's a biggie, I think. Look out for that this week, and maybe use this week to figure out if you need to make a change and need to do something, and then you've got a plan in place to do it between now and December. All right, thanks very much for watching. Hope it's been useful. Let me know in the comments. Obviously, all the other things like subscribing, sharing it with other people you might find interesting. There is a newsletter you can sign up to on email and get exactly the same things I'm talking about here. You can get on email as links. So if that sounds useful, you can go and check that out. If you can't find it, let me know. But if you just kind of go on my site and look for the newsletter link, you'll find it there. You can also get this as an audiobook if you mostly listen to it, because it is just my face talking and the occasional screen share. So if you would prefer to get it on your podcast player, you can do that too. There's lots of audio links in the description of this video. Have a great week, and I will talk to you again next time.